Hi, Terry.
Hello, Suzanne.
How are you doing today?
Beautiful to see you. I'm good. Every day I can see you is a good day.
Thanks, Terry. That's really sweet. Say, the reason that I wanted to chat with you is because I've got a really good idea.
You always do.
I wanted to use the Total Immersion Academy to help teach a 12-week course for swimmers to prepare to compete in an Olympic distance or half iron distance triathlon. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a terrific idea, and I don't have any plans to compete in one of those myself. But can I be in the virtual pool with you?
Oh, sure, that would be great. What I thought I would do, I write practices every week for my own master's group, and it's a blend of total immersion drills and focal points, but people are also there to get some exercise in. So I find that if people get a little bit of direction in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then I give them the practice set, which is frequently metric based, they're able to each take their own personal thoughts, whatever they picked up from as being helpful from the tune-up or warm-up portion, and continue that through the set. And it seems like that's been pretty effective for the folks in my master's group.
That's the way I swim. I swim the first 10 minutes or so. I'm not obviously getting that input from a coach, but I generally decide what my focus will be while sort of taking inventory and being with my thoughts for the first 10 minutes of my practice.
hmm Was there a time where you thought it may have been helpful, or would it have been helpful if you had a coach there that was suggesting different thought collections or thought groupings to you? Would it have made things a little bit easier?
Yes, definitely. Before I was doing metrics type training as I am now, if I had had a coach like you to guide me in it, I would have welcomed that.
Super. Well, I've come up with a new practice every week, and a lot of my swimmers will keep the sheet. I found it's easiest to print off a sheet rather than trying to write on a whiteboard or collect three different lanes of people at once to give them instructions that are similar. So what I've been doing is creating a sheet, and this it's not unusual for triathletes to get a sheet similar to this at their master's practice. But what I feel is unique about this is that there's actually, it may look like a lot of information, but there's three different versions of the set for each week. So a swimmer of any level can come in and participate in the practice and still feel like they're keeping up with the group because I've got three different levels already written out. So what we usually do is I'll give some direction at the beginning, demonstrations on the pool deck, or show a quick video of some drills that I'd like them to focus on, and have the whole group go through similar focal points in a similar tune-up set, and then each person can go ahead and do their own set with me sort of pacing the pool deck, giving feedback here and there. And I think that that could translate really well to a virtual master's practice.
I think that's
Perhaps,
great because, the idea is of feel like you're part of a group doing something together with others where you have support and a little bit of accountability, right?
yeah, exactly.
And at the same time, the flexibility built in to make certain customization to your own best stroke count, your own best tempo, your own goals. So yeah,
hmm
that's terrific.
Yeah, thanks. I've really had a lot of fun working with my swimmers because each person really is an individual. And I could give two people the same set and they'll come away with different things. But what I've found is most exciting for me as a coach is that by preparing them at the beginning of the week, or I'm sorry, the beginning of that night's practice with a set of thoughts, and it's a very concise set. It's just like one or two things to think about, and not this long checklist of technique issues to get
Right.
someone overwhelmed. But one or two things to think about, and throughout the set, they're able to report back to me how that feeling from the warm up translated to the main set. And sometimes they'll be really excited about having swum the same time, but with a lot less effort. Or frequently they'll approach the wall much faster. They didn't
Right.
realize the wall was there because they were able to shave off, half a second on their 50. And it's really exciting for me to see each individual from the practice getting their own unique take on it. So
Right.
I have to listen to their feedback, and I'm really looking forward to getting feedback from other people virtually while they try the same thing.
Right. Well, what what you have referred to as the warm up, and what most everyone calls the warm up, I call the tune up, as you know, and I do it for I'm getting out of it the same thing that you're telling me that your swimmers get out of it, which is 10 minutes of getting very tuned in to certain sensations, and I feel like I'm tuning my nervous system, but I'm also tuning my awareness, that I will be tuned in during the swim, and that's a really invaluable part of the practice for me. It makes everything that follows more purposeful and effective, I feel.
Sure. I think one of the things that people enjoy about coming to my master's practices is that they get that input from a coach and they get technique feedback, which a lot of coaches are giving, but this is along the lines of what Total Immersion is already teaching. We use a lot of the drills that they've learned in the Perpetual Motion Freestyle series or from private lessons, and then they're able to take that straight into a swimming set that sort of mirrors what they might be seeing in a training plan
Right.
from their coach or from a magazine. So they feel like they're getting the best of both worlds, and they don't feel like they have to miss out on fitness just because they're doing drills. And it's a really nice way to integrate what they're learning with getting better as a swimmer.
I think you've hit the sweet spot there of what people who really love TI are looking for. They find there's a gap between what they're working on when they're doing their total immersion practice, and then if they go to a coached group practice, there's no connection. And if there was a connection there and they could do a coached practice, but the connection was strong with the priorities, the sequences, and the whole value system of
Yeah.
the TI practice. Yeah, absolutely.
Super. Well, I am orienting it towards someone doing an Olympic or half iron distance because the length of that swim is about the same,
Yeah.
1 mile or 1.2 miles. A half iron swim is 2112 yards. And that's a nice distance for the meaty part of a swim set. It doesn't take a lot of time to get that distance in training, so it's really important that when you are in the pool that people are focused. So I think it's a very achievable goal. I think that I can create an offering where people can choose whatever distance they're comfortable swimming, fitness and time-wise. Do they want to do 1,200 yards, 1,600? Do they want to do a 3,000 yard set? I've created variations of each focus for each week, and we can just mix and match the pieces into little building blocks to get people prepared for their goal.
Yeah, and as well, I think that the framework that you set up and how you have done it, so it's easy to create variation. That somebody could take the practice you give for week 1 and do maybe another 1 or 2 practices before the next group meeting, where they build off the logic that you've established for that first practice.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I don't know how well it'll come across, but I just want to show you an example of one of the swim sets where it's pretty basic. This bottom part here, there's 3 columns. Those are the 3 different distances, and you just see numbers there. But this top part here is what I'm describing for 5 to 10 minutes and
Right.
guiding people through at the poolside. So I can just do a quick video to introduce that focus to people so they can watch the video on Sunday evening and then be prepared to go to the pool with a printout in hand, and the rest of the week they can repeat variations from that week, or they can go back to a previous week and slot in some things that you want to review. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm glad you like the idea.
Or maybe they'll even sit poolside with their iPad and watch the video just before they get in.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And because inside the Total Immersion Academy, we've got access to all of the drill sequences, even for other strokes. I like to mix in a little bit of backstroke and a little bit of breaststroke, just some of the drills, because there's a lot of value that people can get from doing a breaststroke drill, for example, and then immediately take that into freestyle. And I see people's gears turning and things start to click, and all of a sudden things start to fall into place. So I'm really excited about letting people explore the academy by using some of these guided practices.
Sounds like the way I swim.
Perfect. We'll try and recreate Terry in the course there. And
Or channel me.
anyone's Yep, channel. Anyone's obviously welcome to come to one of my master's practices live in person too.
Mm-hmm.
$10. $10 a night.
I've been there.
Super. All right. Well, great. Do you have any parting words of wisdom for me?
I'll see you in the pool.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
The virtual pool. Bye,
All
Suzanne.
right. Have a good afternoon.
You too.